Go. Hello everyone, welcome to the new Doctor Who, the Class of Who review. Today in the intro, I'm about to start the review soon. Before we do, like Davison always do, I always go out for cricket or maybe. But anyway, let's go. I don't do cricket anymore. I just do throwing the dogs, taking the dogs for walking and throwing a ball. So it's still cricket, but anyway, let's go. Welcome to the Class of Who review, and today in this video I'm reviewing none other, but now you recognize this costume. I'm reviewing the Peter Davison era, airing between 1982 to 1984. So I started watching the Davison era since the start of May, and I'm reviewing all these stories, and so I'm reviewing each story in each of these seasons. If you can, just comment. If you can, comment below and subscribe and like and tell me which story you want me to review for the next month for Colin Baker. And tell me which story you want me to review. But it has to be one story in each season. So reviewing review which story for every Doctor you want. So like every story you want to review, and reviews, just comment below which story you want me to review in each of their seasons. Of the seasons. So I did a review on Facebook on the Peter Davison era. So if you can watch it right now, if it's still out. So in this review, I'm going to talk about Peter Davison, the fifth Doctor, but played the Doctor in 1982 to 1984, who played over around 2 years. I mean, it was okay. He was the Doctor for 2 years. So what do you think about Peter Davison in his era? Sorry, Celery's not speaking up. Yeah, I've got the celery on there. Here I am. Yeah. Yes, it's very small, but it's the only thing I can from the fridge. So what do you think about Peter Davison in his era for the show? His era was very serious and a lot more with some new elements around. People not very sure about John Ethan Turner's run for the era in between Davison era and Colin Baker and Sylvester McCoy, because. But anyway, I think this era was pretty little good, but for Davison, he was quite much a good Doctor. I mean, he had quite seriousness. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's all I can say. That he's very serious. I talked about what he thought about Peter Davison. That his era was very much higher than Tennant. A lot more new with how Tennant did his own era, but it looks very newer. So yeah, that's all I got to say. For now on, let's go to the episodes and the stories I chose for this review. So the first story, that's better. Okay. So in this review, for the first story for this review, I'm going to talk about Black Orchid, written by Terence Dooley. This will be Doctor Who's first ever pure historical since season 4's The Highlanders. So this story was set in the 1920s, where the Doctor and his companions arrived in some sort of and invited to a cricket match and also a fancy dress ball. It plays much like how it doesn't involve with aliens in this story, but also it was quite much a good story, a very happy one, for the Doctor and companions to enjoy. It was pretty much, I like that story. It had much more like how Downton Abbey or Agatha Christie did in their story, but anyway, it's pretty much like Downton Abbey. My mum watched that, and he's very shocked at how Doctor Who got arrested.
You're under arrest.
And including that line says, Doctor Who. She liked that one, yeah. But anyway, it was pretty much a good story, and also it was the most popular story in the Davison era. I do like how the scenes, how it is not very like Alien Doctor Who, but anyway, Doctor Who's always changed, and change has to be. But But anyway, it's pretty much a good change to how the story will return for its back to its former since William Hartnell's era, back to be pure historical. I thought it was about something about a character, historical character. But it was set about the 1920s, about the black orchid flower, and also murders are happening. But anyway, it's pretty much a good story, and I do like how the Dr. Davison was pretty much look around and also curious, and also get himself in trouble in times, but also pretty much good when he plays cricket. It was pretty much the best times you ever have. I do like how the Doctor played cricket and those scenes, and it was pretty good. Anyway, that's all I can say for Black Orchid. So my thoughts on Black Orchid was pretty good. So I'm giving that story 10 out of 10. That's my opinion. Yours could be very different. So the next story we're going to talk about is Enlightenment, written by Barbara Clegg. The story sees the Doctor and his companions arriving on a ship, but it looks like a sailing ship, but eventually they find themselves into some sort of a spaceship sailing through space, and the ship its crew are known as the Eternals. Eternal beings want something called Enlightenment that will give them a much power and superior across all of time and space, across all of the universe, and give them everything. And they have to race, and all the Eternals are racing for it to find the light, to get to Enlightenment. This story is pretty much the good story. I do like how the effects did. Not the like the old effects from the 1980s. I mean the GCI effects. I watched the GCI effects and they were brilliant. I pretty much liked how it turned like an actual movie, but I thought it was going to do like 4 parts, and like the classic years. But it turned like an actual movie. But I still prefer the old classic of Enlightenment. But the new version was pretty good. I choose both. But anyway, I think the story was pretty much a better one. I also curious to see how the Doctor got celery from Castrovalva, and then he swapped with another because it was old and bowly, so he had to place another. But he's wearing celery. Why is he wearing celery? Well, you'll find out in his final story. But if you already found it out, he used the celery just to cure his companion Perry on the Androzani Major. So I'm not reviewing Caves of Androzani. That was a very Greek story. But wait. I just say this story was a breath taken for the show, and also push up how the story was high up for an Eternals to exist. Much like how, like in the Key to Time arc. It was also the final story of the Black Guardian arc, with Turlo ordered by the Black Guardian to kill the Doctor. So anyway, it was a very good story. So I'm giving that story 8 out of 10. That's my opinion. Yours can be very different. And next and final story I'm reviewing is Warriors of the Deep, written by Johnny Pyen. If that's his name, Pyen. The story sees the Doctor and his companions arriving on a submarine base where they discover the Silurians and the Sea Devils are trying to break in the base to use their missiles to conquer the Earth and take back their home planet. This story will also make the return of the Silurians and the Sea Devils, but the Sea Devils were last seen in the classic Who, and then they came back from George Whittaker's era in Legend of the Sea Devils. This story was pretty much a good and best story I ever hope to watch. I kind of like how the Sea Devils worked out and how they wear armor. It pushed the Sea Devils towards the biggest threats. Armor they're wearing, it was pretty good. It was like something like a Chinese element of the Sea Devils, and also I do like how the it's very funny, the effects and all the monsters and the Sea Devils and the Silurians and including the Merker. It was very classic. I know. And I also liked the bit when the Doctor was pushing the sea. I know, right? It was a big stunt. Davison did a lot of stunts in his era, but pretty much a good story. I do like how the story was set in the sea base, except just another like how the Sea Devils did. But wait, the sea base was pretty much a good setting. And I do like how the character piece between the Doctor and between Turlo and Tegan in their story, and how much serious that how they were with Davison. But anyway, so that's what I can say for the story. So I think Warriors of the Deep was pretty much a good story from the Silurians, the Doctor and the Silurians, and the Sea Devils, and including Legend of the Sea Devils, and the Hungry Earth and Cold Blood. So that's my thoughts for the Warriors of the Deep. So I'm giving that story 8 out of 10, just like Enlightenment. That's my opinion. Yours can be very different. Oh. So that's it then. That's it for the Davison era. If you can, comment below and subscribe and like, and comment below which stories we'll be reviewing for next month for Colin Baker, the 6th Doctor. But it has to be well, I know Colin Baker did enough stories in his era. He only did he did one episode on season 21, and then they did a lot season 22, but some of the season 23 were kind of like one arc. So tell me which story will. So like, do you want me to review two each of these of season 22 or one in season 23? Like, choose whatever you want, But like I said, it has to be like maybe 3 stories in his era. So like, comment below which stories want me to review, and I'll figure out which stories I'll pick which one I want to do. Or maybe I can do the big finishes ones, the ones that the lost stories that they scrapped, like the Nightmare Fair. I really want to review that story. Maybe I can review Nightmare Fair. Let's see. So let's see. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Talio, and I'm gonna eat my celery first before we end it. Excuse me. The celery's in my mouth. I think it tastes like death.